Hello, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk and from unboxings.com, and here we have the HTC ChaCha, which has just been released, and we have a full retail version here to look at. So let's crack on. First of all, we need to actually break the seal on the bottom to get inside, like so, and slide the phone out. There we go. So handset immediately on top, which is pretty conventional in terms of packaging. We'll come back to that in a second. Just take a quick look at the rest of the accessories. So we have a quick guide to the ChaCha, which is a colour printed guide just covering the basics, including battery installation and SIM card installation and so on. Safety and regulatory information, warranty statement, and how to contact HTC in the event of a problem. Then have a series of bags with additional components in. So first of all, we have the charger, which works with the UK 3-pin plug portion. The two fit together like so to form the charger itself. So it's a USB connector on the back of that. And two other pieces. Let's have a look. So we then have a USB to micro USB sync charge cable, and last of all a wired headset. So that comes with a clip to clip it onto clothing and two foam covers for the headphones themselves, and there is a 4-pole 3.5mm jack with a fairly basic inline microphone with push button, and then the actual headphones themselves, which are in-ear style, but they're fairly lightweight and plastic, not the best. And if you're going to use headphones and media on this handset, I'm sure you're going to go and use your own headphones rather than the supplied headset. So let's unpack the phone and take a look. So on the front, I normally say that the screen dominates a touchscreen Android phone, but I can't say that in this case, because I suppose the dominating feature here is the Qwerty Keyboard. It's a full Qwerty. There are 4 rows of keys in total, plus this nice little cursor arrangement as well. We get to the number keys by using a shift function to actually use the numbers within the sort of call block here, if you like. But fairly large keys. They are tactile and well spaced, so it's actually a very large keyboard. Above that we have the dialer keys, so the green and red keys for send and end of call or answer and hang up. And then we have the Facebook button down the bottom, which we saw on the Salsa just the other day as well. So the screen then is a 2.6-inch display. It is actually in a landscape orientation. It is 480 by 320 pixels, half VGA. Forward-facing VGA camera sits just above. Then we have the speaker, and then underneath we have the home, menu, back and search buttons, which are fairly conventional. It is a touchscreen as well as having the Qwerty keyboard. If we look to the left-hand side, we have up and down volume control and the USB connector for sync and charge. Bottom really doesn't have a great deal. It has the hole there, which is for the microphone. The right hand side is nothing at all, but from this side you can see that there is this angled bottom. Lots of the HTC phones have a chin at the bottom. This is kind of like a double chin because it's sort of halfway, or just under halfway around the bottom there, so it actually angles the whole of the keypad. That's probably quite a nice arrangement. It's only a couple of degrees there really, but when you're actually using the keyboard, it does just angle the screen slightly towards the operator. So that's kind of cool, and it makes it a nice feature also if you put it in your pocket, that way around in your pocket, slide it in. This means it kind of just angles around your leg, makes it a little bit less cumbersome. It's a nice design feature and a little bit of visual interest too. Power button sits right on the top, along with the 3.5mm headphone connector, and we can obviously use a wired headset or our own headphones with that. On the back sits a 5 megapixel autofocus camera with LED flash, just a single LED there. Next to that we have a little grill which is for the main loudspeaker, so when actually the phone rings, or if you actually use it on speakerphone, that sits there too. Bottom portion I think just pulls off like so, there we go, and already in place with the plastic around it. The plastic around it is just to cover over the connectors on the battery, and the battery sits in this cavity here. Space for micro SD card. I believe that we have a 2 gig micro SD card installed, and also space for the SIM. Now this is a SIM free model, so it has 2 gig micro SD. How big a capacity you get on the micro SD I think will depend whether or not you buy it SIM free. SIM free in this case is 2 gig, but if you buy it from a network operator, the size of that micro SD card may actually change, but it will support up to 32 gig if you want to change it out. Also on the bottom there, to just point out, there is a little post on the inside and a larger hole on the back cover just there, which will just pop back together, and that is so you can connect a phone charm or a lanyard if you so desire. I don't know anybody that does that, but I'm sure people do. Okay, so well, let's just power on. And while it starts up, full rundown of specification: quad band for GSM, dual band for HSDPA, it'll work pretty much everywhere. Dimensions 114, just over 114 millimeters from top to bottom, 60, just under 65 millimeters wide, and the thickest point, well, I guess that's sort of taken not as if it was laying flat, but sort of actual thickness across this portion here is actually just a little under 11 millimeters at 10.7 millimeters. And also we have an 800 megahertz processor, which actually is a change in specification. The original spec, when it was announced back in February, said 600 megahertz. It has been upgraded along the way to an 800 megahertz processor, and 512 meg RAM and 512 meg of ROM. They also have Wi-Fi supporting 802.11bg and N standard. It is Android OS 2.3, I think it's 2.3.3 this particular one. Looks like we actually do have Sense 3.0, which we'll come to in a second, and has GPS, all the other sort of features that you come to expect really from modern handsets, certainly those from HTC. In terms of weight, only 120 grams, really lightweight, and with the actual design and the ergonomics of it, it does feel quite lightweight in your hand. So let's take a look at the operating system and a little bit of a tour around. So let's push the power button back on. So there we go. We can see that there is this sort of familiar interface already with a lock screen, and there is the lock ring, which we first saw on the HTC Sensation and again on the Salsa. So we move that ring up to unlock, and it's all about setting everything up. So first of all, United Kingdom English. You'll notice that there's I know for a fact that HTC did an awful lot of work with their Sense interface in order to get it to work in the landscape orientation. Think about it, it's not just a case of turning everything around, but you're going to have to make everything work. So on other handsets, this image here might have been above, or would have been above, and the text below. So it's only simple. It seems quite simple, but it's comprehensive. It's throughout the entire operating user interface. So let's just start up. We'll enable Wi-Fi on, and we'll look for our wireless network and connect right now. So let's do that. Okay, so we're obtaining an address there, and we are connected, so that's all sorted. So we're going back out here and just finish in the privacy statement. Oh, it's going to ask me which country, so United Kingdom. So finish that off, and we are started up. And just wait for it to actually load user interface. There we go. It has done so. It's got notifications along the top already. So there's a notification there which we'll look at in a moment. The fact that we're connected to Wi-Fi, it's warning me that we don't have no SIM card, no signal there as indicated by the cross over the network bar, battery, and obviously the time. Thinks that I'm it's 8:42. Well, it hasn't got the time right just yet, but hey, never mind. as you can see, it's kind of a familiar home screen. Those that you've seen Sense, which I guess pretty much everybody has seen HTC Sense at some point or another, will actually recognise this, I'm sure. But it has been changed to the landscape orientation, so there is a variation there. Time and the clock in the middle with the date. It does say that we're not signed into our social networks, which we aren't right now. Messages, mail, tips, market, camera, and internet down the side. Swipe across, and we actually get the media player. It does look we have some sample music there. And Google search with voice search. We then have our favourite people, and we have a blank page with a little big plus there saying that we can actually add widgets if we want to, and coming back the other way. Well, that's it. Okay, so in actual fact that big plus indicates we can add more panels. So unlike say any of the landscape or portrait rather phones that we have from HTC that have 7 panels, this one has a default of 3, and the 3 being those that actually have widgets. If we press there, we can personalise display, add home items to home, and personalise sound. So adding items to home will include widgets, shortcuts, folders, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll come back to the main screen. We do have a sort of a leap view, if you like, but it only incorporates the 4 panels that are already there, which is kind of cool. We do have a customise button at the side, which again allows us to add widgets. We can collapse that, and it does actually show you which things we can add and personalise. Pushing the button to the side actually does take us into our full list of applications. You know, this is a books app, downloads, Facebook chat, orange stream there, Gmail, Mirror, HTC Hub, stocks, YouTube, and so on. So let's start first of all by going in and taking a look at the web browser. So let's load, instead of Google, let's go to keyboard. Feels actually quite nice. Anybody that's used a BlackBerry before will, I'm sure, be quite happy with this keyboard. It's actually a bit larger than a BlackBerry, and it feels a little bit more tactile too. Okay, so the page is loading, as we can see there. So it's loaded initially pretty much full size or a 1:1 scale, I guess, judging by that. 2-finger zooming is supported there, so we can actually get it to fit in the landscape orientation. It's quite nicely there, and in actual fact, even on the small display that we have there, it is quite legible. Even the small text that we have on the home page there. The actual screen is quite clear. I'm not sure what the screen technology is actually. It's not listed here in my specification. I think it's just LCD. I don't think it's Super LCD. It doesn't have that appearance to it, but it's still pretty good and sharp nonetheless. It seems to be working quite well. Can we have an accelerometer control? No. So no accelerometer control there. It wouldn't appear in order to read it the other way around, although it would be slightly less logical to do so with the Qwerty Keyboard being to one side. And we can actually use the cursor to navigate around the links on the display, up and down, to actually get through it like so. And as I say, you can use the 2-finger pinch and pull zooming, so that's quite good. We just come back out of there, and let's take a look. I'm going to sign into Android Market for the sake of actually looking at what it looks like on this type of display. We'll just sign in there. There we go. So we'll just sign in, finish setup, accept the terms, and just want to see what it loads like on a landscape display. Eventually. There we go. So obviously works quite well on a landscape display. So this bit that would normally be across the top is down the side, and then the bit across the bottom is on the right. And so we have our list of featured applications there. Then there is the section for apps and games. Then there is the HTC recommended items as well, which you can list through there. Now, I'm not sure how much of a challenge it will be in terms of finding applications that will work adequately and correctly on a standard or landscape display that is normally landscape rather than a rotated landscape, if you like. Some apps I'm sure will probably want to work the other way around, perhaps. But well, we'll talk about our experience with that when it comes to our review, and we'll actually look at some of the apps that we download and see if we have any issues with that. But it's worth just mentioning. At the moment, it's just pulled out at the top. It's warning me about setting the current time and that there are updates available. So what updates are available? We've got an update for Google Maps, Gmail, YouTube, and also because I've purchased a ROM manager with my account previously through Android Market, it's offering me that as well. So I won't download those updates just at the moment because it might slow things down while we're looking around the handset. But Gmail, because we've signed into Android Market, there we go, actually has loaded our Gmail, and there we go, synchronized Gmail already, which is a great thing about signing into either. If you sign into Gmail, it works with Market, and if you sign into Market, it works with Gmail. That's kind of cool. Maps, Google Maps, pretty standard. Accept that and see if it picks up our location. Go to settings, I think. I'll turn on GPS satellites and go back into Maps. We can add a pointer. There we go, found my location, and it's working pretty quickly, loading pretty fast, obviously over broadband, but pretty nappy nonetheless. We've got music, which we already saw on the home screen, so we've got a couple, eight tracks that have been put on there for us to preview and play with. There's the navigation app. We can go back into setup because we skipped most of it. We could go back into setup, and we'll take a quick look at YouTube. Set the T's and C's for YouTube, and let's go ahead and do a search for my channel, which actually comes up as one of the suggestions. So here we go. Let's pick the Sensation. Here we go. Didn't take too long to buffer, and it actually will work that way around, which is kind of cool. Everything does apparently. There we go. So that was loaded pretty quickly and works quite well. We have the weather app, which is important to some people. There you go. Weather. And let's finally, before we wrap this up, let's go into the settings menu and let's take a look at About Phone. Let's look at the software information, and we can see it's Android 2.3.3. HTC Sense actually is 2.1, so not 3.0. So the implementation of that lock ring has been added to this version of Sense. Which is interesting. So we don't have the other features that are in 3.0. So this is 2.1. If we go back home, I'll actually switch off and switch back on. We just have standard lock screen. So unlike the ChaCha and the Sensation, we don't have icons around that we can drag into the lock ring. The lock ring has simply been made to actually just do the unlock. So there's no dragging icons into the lock ring to actually launch those applications. I just will take a look at the camera actually, along with nice colourful. Don't want to automatically upload to Facebook, but we can change settings for that. We do need to look at that actually, so let's take a quick snap there. Okay, the camera's not too slow. I mean, it's not fantastically fast, but it's not terribly slow either. And on terms of what we're seeing on the screen there, it was more than acceptable. But one thing that we do need to talk about is the Facebook button here. So if we push that right now, it's going to ask me to sign into Facebook, and let's hope we have more success doing that than we did with the ChaCha. Let's give that a go. Okay, we've actually managed to sign in, which is great. So obviously we're about synchronizing. I'm not going to synchronize with my contacts via my Facebook contacts because I have actually had issues with that in the past. Not pointing the finger at HTC or anything else, it's just kind of one of those things with Facebook, but I've ended up with duplicate contacts in the past, so I won't be synchronizing that up right now. So allow that to work. Gathering account information, and hopefully there we go. So if I actually go back home as if we've done it from scratch, if I push the Facebook button, it goes straight to a wall post. I could actually go to my camera, take a picture and post that straight onto my wall without having to go via any other sort of function, or I could actually look at a photo that I've already taken and upload that straight onto my my photo stream on Facebook too. And if I come back out here, I believe if we do a long press here, it actually would allow me to check in. So if I long press the Facebook button at the bottom, it'll actually put me as checking in on Facebook at a particular location. So it's just gives us a really easy way to get into the Facebook application and to interact with friends on Facebook, and also actually set our location. In terms of what else we have in here now, I'm guessing that I could add items to home, a widget, and is there a friend stream app? There we go. So let's add friend stream. There are various flavors of friend stream there, so let's just add friend stream into there, and well, I could synchronize it. So the last tab then has friend stream, and now that we have filled that last blank page, we have now a fifth one available. I'm going to just fill that with another thing, and I'm going to just add that as the Facebook widget for now. Okay, so this has worked, and we have that loading up there, and then we have this additional tab which I've just filled up with pretty much the same thing, albeit friend stream and Facebook. But now if I push the home button, as you can see, we have 6 panels shown there, 5 that have things on, 1 that at the end there which is blank, that's just showing us the additional. So we can add additional pages or panels, or whatever you want to call them, to the home screen, so which is pretty cool, along with the Facebook button. The other thing is about the camera, there's also a shortcut key for the camera if you hold down function and the camera button, taking us into camera. In the camera settings, I'm not sure exactly where it is actually, but in the settings somewhere for the camera, which actually we'll look at later, we can set it up so that whenever we take a photo, whatever we take a photo of, it automatically gets synchronized to our Facebook account, which may or may not want to do, frankly, and obviously you have to be cautious of that if you've set that up, because you might take some photos that you don't want immediately to be shared on your Facebook photo stream. But nevertheless, that is available to us. So that's a bit of a look at the HTC ChaCha. We'll have a full review for you over the next couple of weeks. I believe Gareth is actually doing our review on this because he's a big fan of the forward-facing Qwerty keyboarded devices, and obviously he likes his Android. So we'll have a review for us over the next couple of weeks. And as with all of our devices, I do stress that we use them quite thoroughly, rather than just bashing out a quick review in terms of the things that I've just said to you, because that's not really a review. It would just be a regurgitation of an impression I've got of this handset without using it. So our reviews are based upon actual usage and our personal opinion. Anyway, moving on, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's twitter.com/TracyandMatt or facebook.com/TracyandMatt.co.uk. If you want to follow us, that'd be great. Ask us any questions about the ChaCha, or indeed any other phones that we're looking at the moment. So in terms of what we've got in at the moment, we have ChaCha, Salsa, Sensation, Optimus Black, and various other things, and I'm sure that you've going to have seen unboxed and also on our website. So please feel free to ask us any questions, and we'll actually lap those up. I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on TracyandMatt.co.uk, but for now, thanks for watching.
Bitdefender is dedicated to protecting people's digital lives, so working with Unboxings.com to help preview and review the latest technology is a perfect fit.